Hey there, let's talk about something. That feeling, The one where your mind just feels like a runaway train? If that sounds familiar, then you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to dive into this amazing concept called Samadhana. It's all about finding that mental quiet in our, let's be honest, pretty chaotic world. Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with a problem that I bet hits home for a lot of you. It's that feeling that your brain is just always on. It just won't shut down. So just think about it for a second. Does your mind feel totally scattered, like you're always running, even when you're just sitting on the couch trying to relax? Yeah, that's the always-on state. And that's exactly what we're going to get into first. This quote, wow, it just nails it, doesn't it? Your mind is a phone with 30 apps running in the background. Just picture that. Your phone's battery would be dead in, an hour? Well, guess what? Our minds are exactly the same. All that multitasking we think we're so good at, it's secretly just draining us completely. It's funny. Our whole culture seems to scream that being busy is a badge of honor, right? More stuff happening, more notifications, more stimuli. That must mean you're really living. But the wisdom we're looking at here, it flips that completely on its head. It says real strength, real productivity, it actually comes from the quiet, not from all the noise. Okay, so how do we get out of this mess? How do we stop the chaos? Well, it all boils down to one single foundational skill, and that is learning how to become the observer of your own mind. Now, this is super important. This is the core idea. We're not talking about trying to stop your thoughts. I mean, come on, that's impossible, right? No, it's about creating a little bit of space, some breathing room between you and your thoughts, so you can just watch them drift by like clouds in the sky instead of getting caught in a storm. And this is where we see a huge difference between two little words, reaction and response. A reaction, that's the knee-jerk, automatic thing. Your ego flares up, you get instantly annoyed, boom. But a response? That's different. That comes from that calm observer space. It's a mindful choice, not an impulse. And listen, nobody's expecting you to be perfect at this. I love this quote from Dennis because it's so real. He says, basically, I get tangled up in a thought. Then I realize it, and then I come back to being the observer. It's a cycle. The whole point isn't to never get lost in your thoughts. The point is just getting a little quicker at noticing and coming back home. All right, so let's bring this down to earth. How does this actually work in the real world? Because, theory is great and all, but life gets messy. And that's where this stuff really gets tested, and where you see the real payoff. Okay, here's a classic example from Christina. That moment you walk into the kitchen and it's a disaster. The family has just left a mess everywhere. Ugh, we've all been there, right? You feel that little spark of frustration? That is a perfect setup for an instant reaction. And then, look at this. Here's that observer mindset in action. Another person, Christina, said her ego flared up when she was interrupted. But she caught it. She felt it, she saw it, and she made what she called a flip, from reacting to responding. And instead of getting mad, she just laughed it off. She saved her own peace of mind. So this isn't a switch you just flip overnight. It's a process. You start with something called sama, which is basically calm acceptance, just letting things be. And from that foundation, you build up to titiksha, which is a kind of mental and emotional endurance, the ability to stay steady no matter what life throws at you. And if you practice this, it can totally change the quality of your relationships. All right, we've talked about observing, we've talked about responding instead of reacting, so now let's get to the main event, the master tool that pulls all of this together into one incredibly powerful state of mind. We're talking about Samadhana. Samadhana is known as the sixth treasure of the mind, and the word itself actually means solution. How cool is that? It's the solution. It's that beautiful state of inner harmony where your thoughts, your feelings, and what you want to do, they're all lined up, all moving in the exact same direction. No inner conflict. I love this metaphor. Imagine two lamps. One is just scattered. Its light is diffused, going everywhere, not really illuminating anything well. That's the distracted mind. But the other lamp? It has a steady, focused, unwavering flame. It gives you clarity. It gives you warmth. That is Samadhana. So you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great, but how do I do it? Well, here's a really simple toolkit to get started. Step 1, just notice the scatter. See how many tabs are open in your brain. Step 2, Start treating your attention like it's a limited resource, because it is. Step 3. Give yourself permission to have off moments. Being always on is not a virtue. And step 4. A little bit at a time, just try to bring your thoughts and feelings into alignment, into that quiet stillness. And all this stuff, being a little calmer in traffic, not losing it over a messy kitchen, it feels like small life hacks, but it's actually so much bigger than that. This isn't about tiny fixes. This is a path to a really profound transformation. It's about getting to know who you really are. Now, this next idea might sound a little out there at first. The source says, knowing the real self is realizing the real self. Okay, what on earth does that mean? Let's break it down. Okay, think of it like this. You know your phone, right? But you don't become your phone. It's an object, separate from you. But your real self, your true nature, well, that's different. It's already peace. It's already happiness. So knowing it isn't like learning a fact. It's more like waking up to something that's been there all along. You're not trying to become something new. You're just remembering who you've always been. So that brings us right back to the beginning, back to that image of your mind as a phone with way too many apps running, draining your battery with worry, with rushing around, with distractions. So here's the final question I want to leave you with. What is the one mental app you can choose to close right now, today?